Behind me is Nando's. There are so many of these in the UK, and I have it on good authority that there are 7 per capita, which means from memory there's 56 million Nando's outlets in the UK. This one happens to be at the stadium in Milton Keynes. Is it any good? Well, Nando's is the perfect restaurant. It is completely without fault. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is so good you can't even score it. But as a wise food blogger once said, let's give it a go. The question is, why have I come to review Nando's? Like, why would anybody review a Nando's? And the reason why I say that is because Nando's is the perfect restaurant. Everything they do is faultless. It's not on my standard methodology of, score out of 5 for ambience, service, food and pricing. There's no point scoring it because it's not even on the same continuum. It's not scoring between 1 and 5. It's relentlessly perfect. It's like the joke in Demolition Man where after the franchise wars, the only thing left is Taco Bell. It's not true. After the franchise wars, the only thing left will be Nando's. It's just one of these ones where I found myself at a bit of a loose end, and it's like I'm in Milton Keynes. There isn't really anywhere around here I want to review, and I've been wanting to kind of commit to film, as it were. Actually, just why Nando's is so good. And I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I do want to kind of look at this a bit more seriously. Like, why is Nando's so good? The reason why I started this channel was because I kept going out to eat, and I kept getting disappointed. Like, every time I paid the bill, every time I got home, I was feeling a little bereft at the waste of money, right? And I like to think that's relatable. I like to think the people who watch, my audience, you guys out there, all have a certain kinship with that idea. In the UK, it's like really difficult to go out, spend money, and get actually value for that spend. And I found that the only places I was going out to eat, the only places where I felt safe to eat, where I felt like I could spend money and come away not feeling ripped off, was either Nando's or Chipotle. And it seemed too limited, right? It seemed like out of all the fantastic food we got in the UK, it can't be the case that the only 2 good places to go are those 2 restaurants. So I set the channel up. But here I am at a Nando's because there's nothing really locally in Milton Keynes that I particularly wanted. Part of that was to do with something I'm gonna come and talk about. I'm gonna order 2 things. I'm gonna order what I normally order, which was inspired by a friend of mine. I'm gonna get the chicken thighs. I'm gonna get some chips because the peri chips it's all perfect. It's all faultless. And I'm gonna get another side for the review. I wouldn't normally. I had somebody for a while mention broccoli, and I was ordering broccoli. But I stopped doing that. And I'm going to get something else. So a friend of mine really likes the wraps. I've never had one. And I'm going to get one of those. All right, okay. So you know what? Let's be real about it. Nando's hasn't really... I've been coming to Nando's for 10, 12 years. I'm not sure. It might be longer. But it hasn't changed. The menu hasn't changed. The decor, the decor hasn't changed. The ambience hasn't changed. The only thing that's slightly different now compared to when I used to come is that I'm going to put my order in over the app. The loyalty program hasn't changed. It's a very kind of static offer. Tongue-in-cheek is going to get, it's perfect. It's not going to get a perfect score because it's not like if I do it properly on the methodology, it's not going to score 5 out of 5 for everyone. But holistically, there is so much not wrong with this place. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it's how I put it. Anyway, what's the menu? We've got some starters. We've got some chicken. We've got some peri-peri chicken. We've got some burgers, pitas and wraps. I used to love the burgers. Years ago, I used to get, every Friday, I used to go down, well, funnily enough, I was working in Milton Keynes, and I used to go to the one that was at the hub, there in Milton Keynes. And I used to get double chicken breast, extra cheese, pineapple, which I think absolutely set off the burgers. Chips, used to have that every Friday lunchtime. That was my standard Friday lunchtime treat. Burgers, pips and wraps you get. Like I say, I'm going to get a wrap because a friend of mine had that, never had it. Another friend of mine loves the beanie pizza, but she's just stopped being a vegetarian, so she's trying to find her new standard Nando's one. They got the side dishes. We all know what they are. Garlic bread, spicy rice, mash, corn on the cob. I've never actually had the frozen yogurt here, and I can't do because I'll come to talk about that. And going to get myself a drink. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. So I've tried sitting down to record standalone videos on this a couple of times, and I haven't really been able to land it. And I want to talk about Manjaro, and the reason why I haven't been able to do any standalone videos of it is it kind of sounds like I'm turning the channel into a promotion thing for Manjaro, and I'm not going to do that. Just before Christmas last year, I ended up going to the GP, and I had a couple of things going on with me, and it sort of became a bit apparent that my body was really struggling to process glucose, and I was like, oh shit, I'm developing diabetes. And I'm sort of at the age where that's much more likely I have never really watched my diet my whole life. I've struggled with my weight my whole life. I kind of thought, right, well, this stuff's going on. If I go to the GP, they're just going to say, first of all, they're going to say I'm pre-diabetic, and I didn't want that on my file, and all they're going to do is say, fix your lifestyle, fix your diet. And I would describe myself as a really heavy user of sugar, right? I would, every time, whenever I drive my son to school, I'd always stop off at Greg's and get like a Chelsea bun, drinking full-fat Coke all the time, you know, bags of Haribo if the kids ask me to go and get something, think nothing of it. Cakes, ice cream, the lot. There was way too much glucose going in the top, and my body was just kind of like, you know what, no more of this. So I cut all that out, and about 3 months later, which is about the time I started doing the channel. It was about a month after I started to kind of get some videos, we get some traction. I thought, oh, actually this channel's working. That's interesting. I went to go and see an endocrinologist, worked out blood tests I needed to do, got those done privately, went to see him. He was like, no, there's nothing wrong, but like in a very ungracious way, he said, oh, do you want something for your weight? And I was like, yeah. And I'd actually been I'd been more than thinking about it. I'd already got like a prescription put in for Wegovy, kind of like the Ozempic, privately. And I was just sort of going through the thing with them. We have to send them photos and have to decide if I have a legitimate need for it or not. He prescribed me the starting dose of Manjaro. I would say it is no wonder it is a life-changing wonder drug. It is no wonder people are so obsessed with this stuff. So I started in March, it's now June. In that period, to call that 4 months, I've lost 20 kilos effortlessly, like absolutely without any effort at all. There's some weird problems. Like, one of the reasons why I wanted to do a video on it is there aren't many male creators doing content about Manjaro, but I certainly didn't want to create like a fitness channel or a Manjaro channel. I have no interest in any of that stuff at all. But I do guess I have something to say about it, especially as a male creator, but also I have Crohn's disease, and there are very few, I haven't seen any creators talking about Manjaro that are also kind of doing Crohn's disease. The reason why it's relevant is, although my Crohn's is in remission, because I had surgery about 18 months ago, significant surgery, and the third surgery I've ever had, which is when I had some bowel removed. It's not the only time I've had bowel removed for my Crohn's. It functionally, the side effects of Manjaro are extremely similar to my small bowel Crohn's presentation. So kind of like, although I'm still in remission for the Crohn's, I'm still, if the Manjaro is rough, which normally is because I've overeaten, it's hard. So the reason why this is sort of relevant for Food Review channel is doing what I'm doing here is really, really difficult. Like, I'm not particularly hungry, but I haven't eaten all day. And I've got a couple of hours where I've got to wait around for someone to finish something, and I've got a couple of hours to kill. But I could quite happily not eat. Now, prior to Manjaro, absolutely I would be desperate for an excuse to find somewhere. And not only would I be in this Nando's in Milton Keynes getting Nando's, not only is there's a Casper's in town. And actually, with all the diabetes, all the pre-diabetic stuff, I cut out full-fat sugary drinks, any form of sweets, any form of cakes, any form of ice cream. Just went completely cold turkey in December. And although I'm reasonably pleased myself being able to do that, it was fear. I was frightened I was going to go blind and have my feet cut off. And that really stimulated me into action. Anyway, my food's here. So I'm going to check in like every month or so, or 2 months. I want to check in and do this kind of Manjaro thing. Generally speaking, amazingly well. No wonder it's life-changing wonder drug. I'm really worried about coming off of it and putting all the weight back on. Okay, so, we got classic Nando's. The chicken thighs like this I never used to like, and a friend of mine recommended them. And one of the things that kind of sucks about them a little bit, over Halloween they did the Fanta, the orange Fanta, and I think that was supposed to be a Halloween special, and they did that for months, but they stopped doing it now, and it's kind of like, actually I really like that. Nando's chips, they're always good. There is a bit of a hack you can do with Nando's chips, but it's socially embarrassing to do. A friend of mine, actually the one who used to really like the beanies, she used to make me go and ask the kitchen if they would do the chips for a bit longer. So they do a batch of chips for a bit longer, because if they get them to do it and it's a bit extra crispy, really nice. So let's try the chips. They're perfectly fine. They're nice chips. I love the seasoning they do. Actually, we have that seasoning on home, and if I ever do like chips in the air fryer at home, I always put that seasoning on. What's slightly depressing is if you do feel enough of a sociopath to go and ask them to cook the chips for longer, they are much better when they do that. So, yeah, they're really good. The chips are great. Now, like, I only did my Manjaro dose today, just to just to kind of continue that bit of the conversation. What I could normally do, I'd normally be happy to eat all the chips, and then go on to the chicken. But the Manjaro makes me not want the chips. Like it feels like too much. And that's really what it does. It's weird. It just turns off all the food noise and you just stop being hungry. It's like, I've never used nicotine patches, but people describe it like it's like nicotine patches for food cravings. Right, let's try the chicken. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. So, a lot of people are familiar with Rory Sutherland. Was he Saatchi and Saatchi? No, he wasn't Saatchi and Saatchi. The creator who does a lot of marketing content. Like, weirdly, he's one of my first level link connections on LinkedIn. I have no idea what he decided that was good of mine that wanted to be a first level connection, but here we are. He describes McDonald's as being really consistent. Like, it's not the thing that you go for McDonald's for is not the food, it's not the experience, it's the knowingness and the consistency of it. And I think that's why Nando's works. They've got the same consistency. You come here, you're never surprised, you're never disappointed. I actually, in my entire life, managed to get one meal comped by Nando's because it wasn't very good. But that was one of the hardest arguing against paying the bills in my entire life. Legitimately, I think they just don't do it very often. It's incredibly consistent. This is always the same. This makes it really reliable. And this is why it's such a good restaurant. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's have a go at this wrap that my friend likes. This wrap was £12. I got it with halloumi and pineapple, which pushed the price up. I think it was only £6 or £7 without it. So I think that would make it, with the drinks, probably £4. So that would make it a reasonable lunch. Especially a reasonable lunch. I literally, again, I always complain about Pret when I talk about lunch. I bought a sandwich and a coffee for Pret for breakfast this morning, and it was £8, I think. It's crazy. Oh, actually, let's try this coleslaw. That's actually a really good coleslaw. But I think I have a question as to why. I think if I had a burger and I wanted to kind of edit it, the coleslaw would make sense. To put the coleslaw actually in that. Yeah, there's no way I'm really going to want this wrap. But let's try and get a more chickeny bit. I would say that's okay, but I think I'd say, maybe it's better than okay. Yeah. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat what it is that I can feel like eating on this, box the rest of it up, and then do the review. So frequent viewers of my videos will know I like to do the reviews and I like to go to like a nice local kind of somewhere quiet like a hotel bar and do the review, because I didn't really want to drive into town to go to Hotel La Tour. I would not feeling super recommendy about the vibes in here. It's like a bit, because I like, obviously, you know, if you've watched some of my videos, you'll know if I'm doing stuff in central London, I like to go to the W. That place is banging, right? This is kind of very corporate. Like even when you walk into reception, it's a bit like walking into a casino, but not a nice kind of Las Vegas casino, but like a kind of a central London casino. It's just. So I need to review Nando's. I need to do the scores as well. So in the blurb, I sort of spoke about the fact that like Nando's hasn't really changed very much in 10, 12 years. And I think they obviously go to an effort to make every restaurant different. They do have that whole kind of vibe that they're going for and that look and feel, and that brand comes through. I'm going to score it 4 because I think they could do more, but then again, it's a massive chain. So what are they going to do? But it's definitely, they put some effort into it, and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're pricing it at. Service, I'm going to give that 4. I think what the service is really, the service scores are always hard to do when you do the ordering through the app. You don't really get that touch point. But there's a big queue when I got there, and I sort of said I want to come and eat on my own. And even for some reason, the person at the front put me at a table for 4, so I didn't have to wait. The food, it's Nando's. It's difficult, isn't it? It's like how would you review a Big Mac? Like there's some, I think Nando's has got to that point that it's like how do you review a can of Coke? How do you review Walker's salt and vinegar crisps to bring it back to the UK? There are some foods that we have here that are just what they are, and they're sort of like, I think it's a shame they don't do the Nando's chicken, but I could see that I was one of the only people who really desperately wanted that to be year round on the menu because it's a bit crazy. Let's score the food. I'm actually going to score it 4.5. I I think I could probably get away with that. That wrap that I had, that I've never had before, was actually really good. I enjoyed eating it more than I enjoyed eating the standard one, but it was a bit weird to get used to. It just needed a bit more sauce in it, I think. But I think that can kind of solve that with editing. The price, I think the price I'm going to score a 4 as well. I do think it's a little bit expensive, but I think everything is a little bit expensive, so I don't think it's fair. I don't think I can say that. So on the methodology, the standard methodology, making the same to everything else, got a score of 4.1, which is great, above average. That's what we want. But the point I was trying to make still stands. Nando's is easily the best restaurant in the UK. No matter what it is that you want to do, if you want to go out and you want to say, actually, I don't want to cook, I don't want to be at home, I want to go out, are you going to get disappointed? Are you going to feel you've paid too much? Is the food going to be good? I guess there's some people who don't like chicken and chips. I guess there's some people who don't like peri-peri and chips. I suspect the growth of the brand suggests that those people are in a minority. Can you go out there and have a genuinely good, consistent experience, no matter whether you can take a business colleague there, important client there. You can take a friendly, important client there, one that you've got a relationship with. Can you take family there? Can you take your kids there? Can you take anyone there? Yes, you can. Are you going to get looked after? Yes, you are. Is the food going to be good? Yes, it is. Is the price going to be good? Yes, it is. Is the loyalty scheme any good? The loyalty scheme's a bit crazy. But yeah, I think this is what I'm trying to say. It's a perfect implementation of a restaurant. It is absolutely so consistent, so guaranteed, such good value. That is why it is the best restaurant in the UK, hands down. And I hope to be doing this channel for years. And I suspect in 10 years' time, I'm still going to be saying the same thing. Yeah, I'm still going to have comments going, why are you recommending Nando so much? Thanks for listening. I've been watching YouTube for 10 years. I always roll my eyes when the creator asks to like and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel. It really feels good when that subscriber number goes up. It's been going up quite slowly over the past month, to be fair. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.